Hey guys, what's up? Today we're gonna be seeing and learning some scales. Last video of last week, I have shown you pentatonics, but I started from the natural scales, which I was calling all of them harmonic scales, which is wrong. It's natural scales. And today I'm gonna play a little bit more with that, and go a little bit further and teach Greek modes. And I mentioned it last video, but I didn't go into that in depth, and today I'll be showing that. The Greek modes are you basically start playing from different notes and it sounds differently. You can start from the second note or the third, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute with more detail. But before, don't forget to subscribe, like the video from the beginning. If you want, you can take the like out later, but give me that hope, and let's get into it. So the natural scales I'll exemplify by the most well-known, which is the C major scale. It's the first Greek mode. That's the C, by the way. In the major scale, the natural one of C, it starts from C, and then D, which is one tone higher, and then E, F. By the way, I don't know if you can see very well, but C is on the 3rd fret, 5th string, and then D is on the same string but then 5th fret. E, you just go to the 7th, and now F is on the 4th string now, everything on the 4th string, but then you go 3rd fret, that's for F, and then G is on the 5th fret, and then 7th fret, A. And then one last note, 3rd string, 4th fret, which is B. Those are the 7 notes. The 8th is just repeating C, but then an octave higher, right after B. And that's how it sounds. That's the first Greek mode. If I remember correctly, it's the Jonian Greek mode. Maybe that's how you call it, but it's the first one. And it sounds happy, right? And vibrant to a large degree. Okay, so the second Greek mode, you just play the same notes that we all know from the C major scale, but then you start from D, right? And that's the Doric or Dorian Greek mode. The shape is gonna change, but it's the same notes. You could play them with the same shape that I did for C. Just start from D, but then you're gonna finish that on D, which is on the 7th fret and 3rd string. But the best shape, ergonomically speaking, would be the one that I'm gonna show, and I'm gonna put in the tabs for you so that it's easier to accompany, because it's all the same notes, but then you change where you play the notes in the shape, but it's the same thing. So the second Greek mode, starting from D, is then the third one, starting from E. Sorry, I missed that. It's actually very well used in Spanish music, the stereotypical one, and it's also a very strong sounding one. It has been used in 2 different songs. One is more famous. Most of you probably have heard of Unholy from Sam Smith. That's the Greek mode they use in there. It sounds awesome. It sounds almost like the minor harmonic scale, which I might talk about in the future. It's an interesting one. I like how it sounds when it bothers a little bit, just a little bit the ear, so that it sounds exotic, but it sounds great, And that Greek mode, if you do its chords, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, then it sounds like Mexican or just straight up Spanish music. It's Spanish music. Let me do it in a different pitch just for you to see. It's actually the same pitch. We're doing E, right? Then I do E, but up here on the 6th string. No pressing. The difference being that officially the first chord should be minor, but people like to put it as a major chord. That's how it has that Spanish sound. Okay, that's the third Greek mode. I don't know how to translate it, but I think you would say Phrygian Greek mode. We're running out of space here, but here we have the Lydian Greek mode. That's the fourth, by the way. So it starts like the major C, but then you use this shape. For the second string, you're gonna play in the third one. Now we go for G, which is the Mixolydian mode. It's the fifth. Is it the fifth one? Yeah, the fifth note up here. Very similar to the C major, but then always keeping the one fret spacement between the fingers. But the ending, it's not here, it's here. Always keeping that spacement between the fingers. Right? And then we go to the sixth Greek mode. Very important because that's the Aeolian, which people like to call the relative tone. Call it the minor scale. Between the natural scales, you call this one the minor, and it's the A minor scale, basically. So I'm gonna play it up here on the 6th string, which is, well, most easily played. Starting from 6th string, 5th fret, that's the A, and then the shape you see on the screen. I don't know if you're gonna see that on the 5th string or in the 6th string, but that's the shape regardless. That's the same shape. It's going to sound more melancholic or sad, but it also can sound very beautiful and romantic too. In the last Greek mode, which is B. I'm gonna play it here because it's more used here, I guess. It's a B regardless. So the shape is it's very dissonant. So I can call it dissonant technically, but it's very peculiar and exotic. Not always is it used, but when it's used, it's very surgical. And so we completed it officially, right? The first Greek mode, Ionian, Jonic, anyways, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and B being the Locrian. And then we just go back to C, which is the first one. And now we're gonna apply that. There's many ways to apply it. We can pick the chords of each of those scales and play them. We could do arpeggios, we could do a lot of stuff, right? But I'm gonna be showing an exercise for you to practice that and to see how all that sounds. Because if you know how to use all that, you can compose much better by knowing the different intentions to give the same 7 notes. And you can also, let's say, improvise, which a lot of you might be interested in improvisation, right? But let's just start from the exercise. In the exercise, I'll pick part of those scales, only the six first notes of them, which are played on the 2 first strings, and we play those scales, and we're gonna link them in linearly, right? It's gonna sound like a electrical guitar solo or improvisation. And the major natural scale, we're gonna start from D, but it's gonna be this D on second string, first fret, right here. We're gonna do its shape, but only the two strings, like this. And then the next scale will be D, which is right here. You just connect those two, the same shape as I've taught for D for the second Greek mode, but only the two first strings with the 6 first notes. Next E, and then F, and then G, A, and then B. You can go back to just play C to wrap it up. So if I play it straight without pauses, that would be right. So you can see how all those sound differently. Same 7 notes, but sounding differently, right? And that's it for today. Hope you've liked. Again, don't forget the like or the subscription. We're gonna produce videos weekly, and usually one video has something to do with the other, and I'm gonna be spreading from there. So I hope you're optimistic like I am, and I'll see you on the next video.